Hey everybody, Ethan here. I've been making a bunch of videos lately on varying topics, really all over the place. I really appreciate everyone currently bearing with me while I learn how to YouTube and evolve this channel into something that will hopefully be meaningful to people and interesting and that people will want to actually watch. So I thought that maybe making a video on yet another topic could be interesting, see how it works. This one is a little bit more on the technical side of things, which hopefully could be interesting. I really have no idea whether or not this is something that people want to watch. So if it is something that is interesting to you particularly, I'm talking to you, the person who's actually watching this video right now.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
If you really think this is interesting and you would like to see more content like this, there's really no other way for me to kind of really know or gauge that other than you hitting the like button. I know. I said before, I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe, but getting more into this YouTube thing, I'm realizing that it's kind of something that there's a feedback loop, right? People watch it, but maybe they think to themselves, "Oh, this sucks." But really, the way that I know which videos are actually performing well and what people want to watch, and not just creating content for the sake of creating content. Nobody wants that, right? The really only way for me to know that is if you hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe. And I see a certain video has a lot of likes. That's a direct indicator that, oh, people are saying, hey, this is the content that you should be making. So if you really think that this is something that's interesting and you'd like to see again, please hit the like button. I think that's really more important to me at this point than a subscriber base. Just understanding that people like the video and I should make more of it. So like I said, this is going to be more on the technical side. This video that you're about to see is going to be about me walking you through how to build a website without involving any servers, right? Serverless. Yay! I love serverless. It's actually probably my favorite technology. Probably. I'd have to give that some more serious thought, but it's probably my favorite technology. Did I mention it's my favorite technology? So, like I said before, if you like this video and you want to see more of it, if you want me to make more videos like this video, get it? Like. If you want me to make more videos like this one, then just hit the like button and I'll do so. This was a lot of fun making this video. Made it right here on this very desk. And if you'd like to see some more of it, hit the like button and I'll do so. I've really said hit the like button way too many times. It sounds weird, so I'm just going to shut up now and get on to the video. So thanks guys and hope you enjoy it. Alright, so let's get started with, obviously you gotta start with a couple of slides, right? So we're titling this Building a Single Page Application on S3. And first I want to say what we are not going to do. We are not going to be building a full-fledged application that it will include some back-end logic. That's something that, maybe I'll do in a follow-up video where we can have some API gateways and Lambda functions with some SNS topics and SQS and some polling and we can go have fun to the cows come home with that kind of stuff, but that's not what we're going to be doing right now. What we're going to be doing right now is building a simple static HTML landing web page which will have some JavaScript that will run on it. So essentially, you can think of it like I was saying before, like a single page application. So as long as you got your HTML, you got your JavaScript, you can create a single page application that can talk to any backend. So here are some of the technologies that we're going to be using. S3, which for those of you who don't know, stands for Simple Storage Service, which was actually one of Amazon's very first technologies that they released on the AWS platform. That and SQS were the very first ones that they released. And it's really the pillar of the foundation of what we're doing here, because without it we wouldn't be able to create a serverless website. And just for those of you who aren't aware of the whole concept of serverless and how S3 is going to make this possible, beforehand, what we would have to do is we'd have to stand up, first of all, create a server, then stand up on the server a web server, whether it's Apache or Tomcat or whatever technology you're using to serve your web pages. Then you'd have to configure that. You have to configure your workers. You'd have to configure the threads, the max request, the keep alive, all that stuff you'd have to configure and maintain yourself and do all of that and pay for all of that hardware and for the people to maintain that and everything. And then you go and get your code and stick it on there, and then hopefully it would work, right? But what happens, let's say you had a hardware, I don't know, 32 gigs of RAM and a bunch of virtual CPUs, or even if it's a piece of hardware, some actual CPUs, and people start hammering your server and you hit your capacity, then what, right? So the whole concept of serverless is just awesome because that it just completely eliminates that whole concept. So with S3, you don't need to have a server at all. You don't need to have a web server even. And you don't even need to be concerned about scaling or anything because Amazon handles all of that for you. All you do is stick the files on S3, and then Amazon goes and if you get 10 people that hit your website, or you get 10 billion 10 billion hits a month on your website, it doesn't matter because Amazon's gonna automatically scale that for you and charge you a little bit extra. And I mean, it's peanuts what we're talking about here, really. So S3 is going to be the Amazon technology what we're going to use, and then just for kind of standard stuff, HTML5, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. I'm actually going to be taking some a free Bootstrap template from a website and modifying it so that it looks a little bit like our awesome landing page. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So those are the technologies that we're using. And eventually, like I said, this is what the website that we're going to build, this is what it's going to actually look like at the end. So it looks really nice, really good. It's going to have JavaScript. You're going to be able to click on the buttons and on the links and everything, and it's going to do very simple stuff, but still show the point that we just stick this on S3 and boom, you get your single page application working. So when I was saying about the Bootstrap, so I don't have a single artistic molecule in my brain. I'm so much more on the logical side. My wife, she's the one who's the artist in the family. I am really not into making things look pretty. I can't stand it. I just don't do that, which is why I love Bootstrap and why I love admin templates and why I love all these things that other very smart and talented people do, and I get to leverage it either for free or you can pay for it. If you go to themeforest.net, you want to use it for commercial and you need some really interesting components, you can buy it for like peanuts. You can buy admin templates, which basically give you all of the components you would need in an application and then some. So in order to find those, what do? Well, I go to Google and I literally just type in free Bootstrap 4 templates, and all of these are awesome hits that you can download templates from in order to bootstrap your application, and these are all free. I am particularly using, for whatever reason, because I found I like this one, the MD Bootstrap freebie ones. So if you click on that link, it takes you over to here where there's a bunch of different templates. You got your Angular admin dashboard that looks pretty neat. You got pretty much the same thing, but instead of Angular, it's using Vue. You got just a couple other ones that they made for free. I'm sure they also make money from this, so they've got also some paid ones that probably are even more awesome. And so this is the actual one that I downloaded. I'm gonna actually go ahead and customize and change it a little bit, make it work for our demo, for our video. So all right, so now we've done that. So I also mentioned themeforest.net. So let me go ahead and just show you that. So this is ThemeForest, and if you were to go to even just HTML and then admin templates, then you get here a list of all sorts of different kinds of admin templates. I mean, they cost money, but they're very high quality, and they allow you to really get your application up and running. Personally, whenever I build any application, themeforest.net is my first place I go, and I buy I either buy a admin template or reuse one I already have. If if it's something that I'm like doing something for like an internal project or something like that, or for customers, I'll come here very often and just get something from here to get starting really quickly. So, all right, let's get started with what we're actually doing. So if we pop on over here to the Amazon S3 console, so this is the interface you get when you're using S3. So you can see I've already got a couple of 2 buckets here. That's the terminology in S3. The root level folder, if you're thinking about it in terms of like programming concepts, the root level folder in S3 is always called like a bucket. And then inside buckets, you can have folders. So in order to make a website out of an S3, you need to make the bucket a website bucket, so to speak. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to create a bucket. We're going to call this bucket Ethan's Awesome Landing Page Website. Hopefully that's not taken. I doubt it is. Cool, it's not. Then we're going to hit next. And we can add some tags here. We can do versioning, all that stuff, but that's out of the scope. I'm just going to give it a single tag. I'm going to call it name. And I'm going to call it my single page application. And I'm going to hit next. One important thing that we need to do in order for this to be accessible, if you're thinking, it's not exactly the same, but you could think about it that way. You know how like if you're using Apache, I mean most of my experience has been in Apache, so where you'll have the ability to do allow or deny requests for certain folders or whatnot. This is basically saying, you know, grant access to everything in this folder so that it's accessible because we want people via the web to be able to access our website. Now, depending on your specific circumstance and your security and everything, you might actually have this as do not grant, and you might have only like specific things, maybe the index.html could be granted access to the public, which then that could talk internally. And you know, there are ways to architect this to be much more secure than the way that I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to make this into like a really quick and easy kind of website, but this is by no means, don't take this as the authority of making a secure website. So just, like I said, just for the sake of making this easy, I'm going to make this grant public read access to this public to the whole world. And then now we can review what we've done. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And I've got my bucket here, Ethan's Awesome Landing Page Website, which doesn't have any hyphens, which makes it very hard to read. So now I click in it, I have nothing in here. So now what we want to do is we want to add all the files that we have from my landing page into here so that it can actually work. Now you can get really complicated and very sophisticated rather, and using CI/CD pipelines to automate stuff, because S3's APIs are awesome. They've got APIs for everything from uploading stuff to deleting stuff to copying stuff to moving stuff. I mean, you can literally do everything through the APIs. So like if you're truly having this like in a production kind of system, you probably have your Jenkins that would talk to S3, and just in your CI/CD pipeline, it would just push the data here. But I'm just gonna manually copy some files here. So I already got my files here. I'm just gonna copy them across over here. I'm not gonna copy my idea or my get ignores or any of that because those are irrelevant. That was just for me when I was working on it. So so you can see now that I dragged over those elements, you can see that they're all showing up here on the size. That's the amount of storage it's going to take. So I hit next, and I'm just, like I said, do not take this as the authority for security. But yeah, I'm just going to make it. I can already feel the sysadmins and the security guys cringing by making all this public, but I'm just going to go ahead and make this public just because I'm trying to make an easy video. Hit next, and just upload all the files. And you can see on the bottom that it's all getting uploaded. Now, as soon as this gets uploaded, we still haven't found where do we get our URL from, how do we access this, and you're right, we haven't done any of that configuration yet. So in order to do that, we come over here on the top where you see this little, there's tabular menu items here, properties, click on that, and then we got a whole bunch of different things that we could enable. So for this particular instance, we just want to enable the static website hosting, and it says host a static website which does not require server-side technologies, aka serverless. Yeah. So we click on that, and all we have to do is then say use this bucket to host a website, and it asks you for what is the index.html. So in this case, it's just going to be index.html. If for whatever reason there was an error, you could route to an error document. That's not a required field though, so I'm not going to actually fill it out. And if you notice, you actually get here your actual page website, and that's what you're going to go and hit. So once I click save, now this bucket is now officially a website. And if I click on this and nope, let me right click. Come on, you can do it. There, nope. Okay, let me just try clicking. There we go. And here we go. This is my awesome website, my awesome landing page that is hosted on S3. And so you can see it says my awesome landing page. It changes a little bit. We have an awesome product. If you buy now, you'll receive 50% discount on top of getting a special t-shirt in the mail. No, you're not going to get a t-shirt in the mail. And you can see that it actually has some JavaScript because if I click on it, then it says buy our amazing product and I click on it, it says thanks for purchasing our product. If I were to fill out my name and my email and please contact me and I hit send, bam, contact form. Thank you for submitting the form. Someone will be in touch with you shortly. Cool. And I got some other JavaScripts, nav bar, you click the nav element. All these nav elements, they got JavaScript working on them. Facebook, just also another nav element. So that's pretty much it. That's how you do it. You go to S3, you create a bucket, like we saw. Let's come back here. You create your bucket. You call it whatever you want. You go. You put your files inside. You do your properties. You set static website to true, basically. You give it an index.html, and then you get a URL. You can get much more complex than this URL. This is just the URL that Amazon gives you by default. If you're using Route 53, which is Amazon's DNS service, then you can you can do things like actually having a proper domain name as the website, and then nobody would ever actually even know that this was hosted on S3 or Amazon. So that's also something that maybe you can do in a future video. But for now, that's pretty much what I had for you guys. It was pretty simple, pretty quick. Please leave comments below. Let me know if there's anything you want me to clarify. Really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time watching this video. All right, thank you very much.